was watching a video from Mr. MBB333 channel, and he was showing a clip that was given to him by a gentleman in New Jersey, I want to say. It was definitely on the East Coast, as far as I remember. And the gentleman was filming at night, and he was shining a flashlight up in the air. And you could see the little particles, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Very dense, too, because the whole beam of light was pretty filled up with these particles. And they were going across the beam of light. The gentleman that was filming said it was very calm out. The wind was not blowing from, horizontally. He said there was barely any wind, period. And I've seen that exact same thing with my own two eyes. And I've seen that for the last 3 years, I want to say, if not more. Definitely maybe prior to COVID, around COVID time, definitely. So the gentleman was asking the question of what is that in the sky? What are these particles? Because it wasn't snow, it wasn't rain, and it was moving independently from the wind. So many questions they asked about there. And then all you got to do is go outside. All anyone has to do is wash their car at night, go outside in the morning, and you'll see that there's this white film all over your car. I try to keep my car fairly clean on the outside, and it's almost impossible. Every day there's this white film all over my car. You can look at everybody else's cars, white film all over the car. And I don't live by a construction site. I drive a lot, so I know I go through maybe dusty areas, but for it to be like that every day, and I don't see many examples of what is doing that in my daily routine. So it's got to be something settling on the car at night, or else I could not fathom of what I do to make my car so dirty on the outside. But within saying that, there's plenty of theories on that's from chemtrailing, that most people will say that that's from the ash from the fires in Canada. But I've seen that in the past where there was no fires, and just the fact that I've seen some breakdowns on how impossible it should be for the smoke and ash to come all the way from Canada and just make its way through central United States. Like, the amount of things that would have to be perfect for that scenario to happen, it seems pretty unlikely that is what's going on. So something's clearly making our skies extremely dense with some sort of particles. The other day I was in McHenry, and there was these weird gnats that just were sitting on everybody's car, just flying all over the air. And when I looked at them close, they looked almost like a cross between a mosquito and a gnat. It definitely wasn't a regular gnat, and it wasn't a type of fruit fly or anything like that. These had big wings and a very thin body, almost a body of a mosquito with like wings of a fly, I guess, similar to a fly's wings, but kind of more oval. And those were just everywhere, and today they're gone. So it was just like one hatchling of whatever the heck that was. There's hundreds of thousands of them covering multiple miles. Then all of a sudden in a day they're gone. So, like, questions I have is, what is in our sky? Are there things being hatched from whatever is in our sky? Are there new types of pests and parasites that are coming from whatever is being terraformed here? Is it a celestial body that's dumping some sort of material into the atmosphere? Is it just another type of chemtrailing? The other day, which was very weird, there was a video that showed a rocket launch, what they suppose was a rocket launch, and the official word was that was Space Force. So not only did you have the Dragon rocket from SpaceX, that was last week, and that's, I don't even want to begin to talk about that. Dragon, I don't know why you would have to name it that at this specific time. That's kind of not so good on Elon Musk. Is, you probably should have rethought that name a little bit. But going back to what I was saying in my last video about next week, September 23rd, and how Game of Thrones associates a dragon with a comet, is that what Elon Musk is alluding to with this comet, or with this dragon rocket? But the other day, that was a Space Force rocket being launched, according to official word. And what else was said is they are more classified about their rocket launches, so you're not really going to know it's a Space Force, or they're not going to, make a public announcement saying, like, we're shooting rockets today, blah, 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 that type of thing. So if you see a new type of thing in the sky, it absolutely could be Space Force now, is what that was alluding to. But looking at it, it looked very similar to what happened in Norway with the spiral, and that was like 12 years now. I don't even think SpaceX existed at that time. So I don't know what those are. I would be willing to bet they're not rockets, and something is either coming in or coming out. And I don't want to get gross or weird or anything, but to me, when I see, first of all, it looks, whatever these rockets are, they look like they're definitely breaking water, the way water would break off a boat if you're watching it from above. If you're watching a speedboat go through water, that's what it looks like in the sky. But what comes to mind, and again, this is probably just because I've seen so many Jackass videos where they shoot semen in slow motion and film it. I know it's gross. Jackass is very gross. But when I look at whatever that rocket supposedly is, it kind of reminds me of that for some reason. It gives me the sense that it's something is being birthed, or it's got something to do with birth. It almost to me, it's like how semen would find a womb. Is kind of what I get out of that. And I'm not trying to be dirty about it. That's just the way. Mostly it comes from a video that Mud Fossil University did many years ago about what looked to be an embryo sitting in the desert of Africa, and it was probably the weirdest video. I'm gonna try to find a picture of it and put it on the thumbnail. But that never escaped my mind, because first of all, the anatomy of it looked pretty correct. It did look like an embryo, and sure, nature could mimic other things. I don't disagree with that. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt it might not have been an embryo. That's pretty insane to think, because this thing would have been a couple miles long. So I don't know what what would birth out of something like that would be gigantic. But is that what we're seeing here? Are we witnessing something birthing in the skies or on the ground? And they're just saying it's a freaking rocket launch or whatever. So very, very odd stuff. So that was pretty weird to think that something can be that big and being birthed in a desert. And again, I'll try to find that picture and throw it up on the thumbnail so you can get a gist to what I'm talking about if people haven't seen it. But that just keeps coming up in my mind, is something's being birthed right now. Or many things are being birthed right now. I'm seeing weird migration, like in Illinois, now we have eagles, and I saw a vulture the other day. Something's clearly going on with the sun, because insects do not want to be in it. Flies just try to get in your car because they do not want to be in the sunlight. They want to be in the shade. So it's a lot of things that are just very odd happening right now, amongst all the other things that are extremely odd. But what a time to witness it. So just some thoughts. Thank you.